Nessa, girl, you know it's about to be some foolishness when I got this wig on. Jump off. I know. But look, I've been traveling, y'all. I've had all kind of business meetings, shows, and carrying on, and I'm officially done for the summer. There's no more travel on the books, which means the dog should be able to be on time when you want me and not just when you call. This review episode is brought to you by none other than who? Sling TV. You can get your reality TV fix, including all your local channels, at slingtv.com. That's right, you ain't got to be sitting at home in front of the big boy. You can get it on the go. Go to slingtv.com/promo and use promo code FUNKY to get your first 3 months of Sling TV for as low as $15 a month, so you can keep up with Potomac and everybody else in between. That being said, let's just jump right on in. Now listen, girls, we just backed up a couple episodes. We backed up 3. I'm not even going to get into last night's episode. We going to get into the 3 episodes I missed. And we going to start with the table situation with Get Up Out My Mama House. Gizelle, you is one messy heifer. Okay? H-A-F-F-A, heifer. You is one messy heifer. And I'm going to tell you what's going on. I can look at everything. Just see, the beautiful thing about binge watching the last 3 episodes is that it allowed me to trend the pattern. And the conclusion that I have drawn is that Gizelle has absolutely no storyline. Therefore, she has no problem being the producer's puppet. Okay, she stay bringing up something that stir up something. Now, how are you going to make it a point, Gizelle, to be concerned about Ashley's husband allegedly sucking peen or wanting to suck peen, and then bring it up and then put the onus on Robyn? That is, see, and here's the thing. If Robyn would take 5 minutes to come up from air from having her face between your doggone legs, sizzle sisters, she'd realize, she'd curse you out. She would curse you out. How dare you as a friend put me in that situation without my permission? So you're going to say, I got, there's something that everybody's concerned about. I wasn't there. So maybe Robyn should tell you. And Robyn is looking like doggone it. And at that point, Robyn was left with nothing else to do other than tell her that her husband had wanted to do that. So Ashley and Candice get all into it. They get the fussing and carrying on. And I'm going to tell you something. To a point, I agree with everybody at the table and everybody in the group saying that Candice has a hard on for Ashley. I just don't really understand why she's so pressed about driving this point home about Ashley and Michael not wanting to have a baby. Now listen, I'm not going to say I don't understand the feeling, because I'm going through a similar situation with a friend right now that I just don't quite understand why they keep doing something. But the only difference between Candice and I is that I left my lack of understanding internal. It's an internal lack of understanding, and you keep making it a point to verbalize it, and it somewhat reeks of entitlement. Follow me here. You keep bringing it up to the group because you feel like you're entitled to understand it. And some things are just left to be a mystery, especially when it ain't none of your doggone business. Yes, she may be lying. Yes, she may not be keeping it real, but it is of no consequence to your life. And the thing about it is, it'd be different if she was not keeping it real about owing you $50 or not keeping it real about something that pertains to your everyday life. Do we think Ashley and Michael are keeping it real? Absolutely not. I think that marriage reeks of unhappiness. Everybody can see Ashley is a doggone trophy and that man go both ways, and she having that baby to secure the bag. It's written all over her face. She don't have to say a word. You know what I'm saying? But it don't affect me one way or another. So just laugh at that false behind relationship and keep it moving. Gizelle, you should have had the dog S-H-I-T slapped out of your F-A-C-E. Okay, how dare you, after Candace put that girl out, run outside and ask her to come back in. Again, in my opinion, because Gizelle, you are fairly up on being classy and proper, especially after Karen called you out. I don't think unprompted Gizelle would have asked that girl to come back in. What I gather is somebody bent over in Gizelle's ear and said, Gizelle, run outside and make her come back in because this is good to keep the confusion going. And Ashley, I'm sorry. I would have dove on your ass. There's just... And I know the men shouldn't get in women's business, but at the point in which Candice asked Ashley's behind to leave their home and she came back in, I really do feel like Chris should have firmly said, Ashley, my wife asked you to leave. I'm going to have to follow suit with my wife. Because at the point in which somebody asks you to leave a house or a property and you come back in it or you come back on it or you come back to it, you deserve anything that happens to you. And then you got the mitigated gall to stand up in this woman's house and say, basically, no, there was something brought up and I'm going to address it here. And basically, I'll leave whenever the hell I feel like it. And I like the fact that Karen stood up and was like, you are being disrespectful. This woman asked you to leave. If she would have thrown a chandelier at your behind, she would not have been wrong. And granted, I don't know the law, but I think it probably would have held up because that woman was on tape asking you to leave her home. At that point, you were trespassing. She'd have been real wrong had she called the police on you. Then you and Michael would have had a whole house of felony going on over there. Okay? Your baby would have been born behind bars like Tupac messing around with me. Candice, I'm glad you didn't hit her. But you's a better woman than I ever be. Because mama would have got popped that night. She was trying your patience. Monique tried to walk to the door and have a conversation with Katie. Now, this is another one of those situations of Candice being messy. I don't know what it is about everybody wanting to just fit in with Gizelle. Everybody just wants to be, Gizelle is the head cheerleader at the school and everybody wants to fit in with the Gizelle crew. Because Candice, when you went back and said she looked like Amistad, like, those words were completely taken out of context. Now, the thing about it is, Katie ass looked like Amistad at that doggone door talking about she at her house and she ain't got no air condition. Now, I wanted to read Katie because I was about to say, since that man left her, her finances ain't been on track. But I saw in the Shoedown At Hoedown episode that mama got a farmhouse and I guess she going through rid of it. But you know what? Katie, the type of person that's foolish enough to live in that farmhouse that was built 200 years ago and don't get no air conditioning because she wanted to hold on to the structural integrity of the original design. Katie, go ahead and get you some air conditioning so your hair can stop reverting, honey. In this moment, you black like this and not like this, honey. That hair is not laying down. It is not, this shit is looking fried, dyed, and blow dried at that point. Monique didn't even get an opportunity to talk to you good because Ashley had done came back in. Nevertheless, Katie rolled back with Ashley and this was hilarious. Katie, you were supposed to be on Ashley's side. Katie was like, well, is he gay? Well, why would he say that? Well, Robyn said he said it. Everyone said he said it. Even Chris said he said it. It's like, dog. And he go, Ashley, I don't believe he said that. I don't. Well, why would they say you said it? Like Katie was letting it be known, Ashley, ain't nobody buying what it is you giving. Whatever you selling, they are not buying. And I was just dying laughing because Katie is the aloof girl of the bunch. Katie is the crazy girl that things go over her head. But Katie was here to let you know, I'm crazy, but I ain't dumb. And it's a doggone difference. So Gizelle later on meets up with Ashley outside of her dance rehearsal. And here is where Gizelle gets messy and somewhat malicious. we gotta get down to the undercurrent of this nice, nasty feud between Karen and Gizelle. What is it? Is it a jealousy? Is it an unresolved something where they keep playing nice but it's still mad? There is something so unresolved with Karen and Gizelle that it keeps rearing its ugly head, because I find it odd that Gizelle found it prudent to have more loyalty to Ashley than she did Karen and throw Karen under the bus. Well, I want to let you know, as soon as you left, Karen high-fived with Robyn. Now, here's the tea. I like when we got down to the Shoedown At Hoedown episode and Karen was straight up with it. She was like, yeah, I found vindication in it. And if there was anybody at this group that should have found vindication in it, it should be me. Especially considering how many digs you took at me, like blatant digs. You know, oh, your husband's going to jail. Karen, we know you moved. Karen, we know you had tax issues. Karen, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. See, Ashley, you feeling it now. Can you feel the spirit? Can you feel the spirit of messiness? The tables have turned. What a day when the tables have turned. What a day when the tables turn. And now you all mad. And now you want to play the whole, if she was my friend, how could she do this? And I don't believe what people were asking you the same thing since the inception of this show. And you found it so funny, or you found it so, you know, so your business. Even down to the way Candice is riding you. I hate that it's happening and I hate that it's Candice, but it ain't no different than what you have done to people this entire situation. So like they said, karma is a bitch, and nobody is feeling bad for you or your sexually fluid husband or your insurance baby that you having. It just feel a little strange. Then things get a little more serious. And this right here is where I wish that this wasn't I wasn't doing a promotion. Because I would really just want to cuss. Candice, you might want to go make you a smoothie right now. You might want to go clean up your closet right now. You might want to go get your car detailed right now. Because Dorothy about to get it. When they rode in the car to go to the therapist's house, office, the mama just reek of misery. Like, if misery had a face, it would be Dorothy. Like, she just looks miserable. Everything about her looks angry and ignorant as hell. And what's the word? Ornery. Oh my God. My brain, that mama works my nerves. Lord Jesus Christ, that mama works my nerves. She's just so indignant. That's the word I was looking for. And it just reeks. Now, what I will say is this. I love that when Candice was in that car, and when Candice got to that therapist's office, she was holding no punches with that mama. This is what I'm tired of. This is what you always do to me. You do this without apology, and I am tired of it. She got to the therapist's office, and I love what the therapist said. You know, Dorothy, in this setting, I'm the therapist. Dorothy, she's talking. Dorothy, she's talking. You're not hearing your daughter. You're not hearing your daughter. Now, here's the only thing I'm not understanding. Candice said in the therapy session that the only thing the mama contributes is her portion of the mortgage. You know, can't y'all move right there with Robyn, who did all this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it would really seem to me, because you said in your therapy session that the only thing, you know, your mama don't pay all your bills, and the only thing that she contributes is $2,000 a month towards the mortgage. All right. I mean, between Chris' income and your income, is y'all really that hard pressed for them $2,000? Like, $2,000, add another $1,000 to it, that make $3,000. Y'all should be able to go get y'all a nice apartment. You know what I'm saying? Until y'all can figure things out. Like, it would mean more to me to have a smaller space. Baby, I would go live in a college dormitory than to be up under my mother's thumb like that. And y'all get y'all a renter in that property or a piece of Airbnb and be done with it. I borderline don't have no sympathy for you, Candice, because it seems to me that you are more pressed about being pampered and taken care of, despite the fact that you got a husband, than being free from that mama. Like, you are being held prisoner to material things. Because you're comfortable, because you don't want to struggle, because you don't want to pay a bill. And the mama know what she doing by manipulating you. She know what you into. She know you like hair. She know you like clothes. She know you like to eat good. She know you don't like to pay your phone bills. She know all that. And she know that you know, honestly, truthfully, it sounds kind of vain. Because I walk around with my hair pulled back in a ponytail, no makeup, toes undone, fingernails dirty, and borrowing quarters to wash clothes at the washateria before I had to deal with that mess from that mama. It just ain't worth it. It just ain't worth it. And Chris better than me. Because real talk, I wouldn't even be laying up in your mama mess. And that's no tea, no shade. And I guess everybody laying up in Dorothy's house because it's comfortable for every doggone body, and everybody is looking at their pockets, but they are not looking at their peace. And that's why y'all going around there. You and Chris got to arguing outside on the side of the street. Why? Because of that doggone mama. You stressed out. Why? Because of that doggone mama. You ain't got no peace in your house. Why? Because of that doggone mama. You crying in the therapist's office because of that doggone mama. Like, the common denominator is that doggone mama. I would have told that doggone mama to take her house, and get the hell to stepping. It ain't worth it. But I'm going to tell you something. When you finally do move out and get your own peace of mind, they say having a piece of man, no, having a piece of house. Well, I get, well, hold on, I'm about to give you some bad advice. They say having a piece of house is better than no house at all. I guess that's what you taking, just the piece you got. Nevertheless, y'all need to move about that lady's stuff. Am I the only person who looks at this issue or this lack of an issue and see it that clearly? Move out the lady house, problem solved. It ain't like you got grandkids. You need to do like Monique and Chris did with his mama, set boundaries. See, you can't hang up the phone, tell that woman not to call because she got a key. She can walk up in there anytime she want, bam on the door, then emasculate both you and Chris by saying, "What, you gonna put me out my house? I'll run up and through here anytime I want." And she does that to maintain power over you. I just thought, you know what? From this point on, from this therapy session, from this season on, if this issue ain't fixed with Candice and this mama, I ain't even gonna speak on it no more, because at the point in which you see what the problem is and you refuse to fix it, you deserve to sit in it. And that's all I'm gonna say. I ain't even gonna go in on your mama. I'm gonna show a little respect, because look, I had a whole paragraph written for her, but I don't want to mess up my karma. I'm right here trying to find a man, and God not gonna bless me with a man with a messed up mama if I talk about you and your messed up mama. But you need therapy, and then she need to go figure out, number one, why her hair always look atrocious. Number two, why she look like she always smelling SHIT. And number three, why she miserable down to her bone marrow, because your mama is miserable as heck. She is miserable. And I know that man that she with got to be miserable too, because it ain't no way in hell that a woman that's miserable on a part-time basis is not bringing it home. She got to be, your mama is just miserable down to the core of her DNA, the first helix. Yes, I'm surprised I even remember the word helix. Come on, science fish. Moving right along. I will say, Candice, I am proud of how you held firm at that therapy session, and you was not backing down from that mama. You are starting to learn what it is like to be a big girl, and you will be fully a big girl when you stop letting her pay them $2,000 and you move the hell up out her house. Robyn and Ashley fussing at Pride. You know, I really don't get what the genesis of that argument was. Robyn wasn't even the person that brought it up. Gizelle was the person that brought it up. And Ashley wants to go down this rabbit hole of, if you were my friend, you wouldn't add to it. And later we find out that the reason why Ashley is so sensitive to the gay rumors, because she said it to Robyn. She was like, you know, the whole gay thing, because it's Michael and the whole gay thing. And we find out that the reason why she is so sensitive about the whole gay thing later is because Michael had a pending case about groping. Well, no, we can't even say about groping the cameraman, because I guess that had not happened at the point. Robyn said she groped the cameraman at the gay pride thing. Well, they had the previous situation where he was in a hotel room with the nude picture, so on and so forth, that was down to the website. Nevertheless, you know, Ashley is predisposed to being mad because she know her man has a predisposition to men. And it just is what it is. And maybe Michael, because he's so old or older, he comes from a generation where, you know, you were brainwashed into thinking it's not cool to be whatever you is. And that's okay. Now we get down to this Hoedown, Shoedown episode, and Gizelle and Robyn meet up at the doggone meet up at the kitchen place. And Robyn, this is the part where you and Gizelle should have got the slap boxing. Because Gizelle tried to make it seem like, I'm staying out of it, I'm staying out of it, when you started all of it. And you know what? I used to think Karen was over-exaggerating, but she is telling the honest to goodness truth when she says, Gizelle is a messy train that always arrives on time. Gizelle, you never miss an opportunity to be messy. You never do. Candice meets Chris at work. And Candice, the whole rest of this episode is going to be dedicated to you. So I hope you went and got that water and made that smoothie that I told you. And sit down, daughter, because we finna have to talk. Woman to woman. You meet up with Chris, and this actually pissed me off. You meet up with Chris, you want to vent about your mother. Then Chris made some parallels between your behavior and your mother's behavior. Then you got upset and accused him of throwing you up under the bus. Now here is where I have to further substantiate Chris saying you act like your mother. You really attempted to manipulate this man in an effort to get what you want. And you want him to not tell you the truth in certain instances, and you want to dress it up under the guise of him being disrespectful and play the disrespect card. That don't work like that. You can't manipulate the truth, and because you don't want to hear said truth, label it as disrespect, and then try to play you're disrespecting me because I asked you not to disrespect me. That don't work like that. Like all parties involved, do we see how that's manipulation? You don't want me to point out parallels between your behavior and your mother's behavior because it gets under your skin, but it's the truth. So you want me to skirt over the truth. And if I say said truth to you when you are acting in said truth, then you want to beat me up and call it disrespect versus taking an introspective look at yourself and either correcting said behavior or not exemplifying said behavior. So here's the thing. That train can go both ways. Toni Morrison told us if you turn the glove inside out, it still has to be a glove, my dear. So if you get to play the whole it's disrespectful if you bring up my truth, then I'm going to need you to stop being disrespectful by acting in said truth. So if we both got to lie, or lie by omission, then I'm going to need you to omit those behaviors. If I was Chris, that's the card I would play. It's manipulation at its finest. And I hope in looking at these episodes, you realize where you get it from. Yeah, that don't work for me. That teeters like my biggest pet peeve. Everybody knows I'm a relatively cool, even-keeled person. I can walk away from just about any fight, but you do one thing and it really sends me over the wall. And I still have not mastered this yet. And that's playing on my intelligence. you tell me the sky is purple when I'm obviously looking at it and it's blue, that will probably drive me to hit you in the face. And I'm in therapy trying to fix that. But that teeters that I don't like that mental manipulation. It just is not, it's not cool. It's not cool, and it's borderline like sociopath or psychopath or whichever one. When I went to Florida State University, they didn't teach me the difference between them paths. But baby, you on the wrong path if you're trying to stay married, and that's just true tea. Karen and Ray ride motorcycles, that was cute. The news dropped and Ashley informs Gizelle that she already knew. You know, shit, quiet as it's kept, we already knew too. Monique meets with Candice. So Candice comes over to Monique's house and they sit down and start talking. And you know, one thing that I do respect about Monique is that I've always fashioned Monique to be rational and logical. And you know, she told Candice the behavior that you're exemplifying is not that of a grown woman, and that it, you know, reeks of a temper tantrum, and I'm going to tell you when you're wrong. And you know, Candice felt a little how dare you, because you put an umbrella up to Robyn's face. And yes, she did. However, me being wrong does not remove me. Me being wrong in a previous fight from a previous year does not remove me of the right to still tell you when you're exemplifying said wrong behavior. I'm able to call it out in you because I've learned from it. You know what I'm saying? And listen, you human, we all gonna have a moment. She had a moment. Them girls kept messing with her for whatever reason. You're having a moment. You're having several moments. You know what I'm saying? Because your mama keep messing with you, coupled with Ashley poking at you and a whole lot of other things. So it's cool. But for you to just get so mad, like, it is somewhat immature, because instead of you being able to just eat what's going on right now, you want to make excuses and deflect, and it is causing issues in all of your relationships. And here's the thing that we got to understand, because I go through this sometimes. The world, relationships, situations, altercations look however we want it to look, okay? Because we put on our denial shades, we put on our victim shades, we put on it wasn't my fault shades, we put on I was molested shades. Whatever lens we want to view the world in when we don't want to see the truth, we put them rose-colored lenses on. And Candice, you got on some rose-colored lenses right now that nothing is your fault. And the reality of the situation is, okay, situation number 1 might not be your fault. Altercation number 2 might not be your fault. Situation number 3 might not be your fault. But damn, mama, situation number 4 not your fault. Like, come on, you don't got them 4 altercations. It don't take a genius to see the trend here. There is something going on that is causing you to have all this friction. And it would be different if it was just friction in your girlfriend relationships. Friction with Chris. Friction with your marriage. Friction with this homegirl. Friction with your homegirl that's like your sister. Like, that was not cool. And when y'all get to the hoedown, and you and Monique, you know, get to it just was not cool. Like, and I see why Monique was hurt. She was like, I was one of the few people, one of the only people who rode for you. Now, one thing I do love about Karen is Karen has, I think, the most heightened emotional intelligence of everybody in the group. Because she was like, listen, y'all, she can't take it no more. No matter how much truth y'all want to drop on her or deliver in this moment, she can't handle anymore for today. And it's weird because when Monique came over to apologize to you and you did the whole, Monique, get away, why are you talking to me? Like, that reeked of 12-year-old. And I'm not understanding why you, in that moment, you were more mad with Monique than you were Ashley. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Jesus Christ, Candice, you are coming loose at the seams, mama. And so what I am hoping, granted I have not seen last night's episode, but I'm hoping this is where it starts and it stops for you. Because mama, you have had it up to here with the stress level. And you know, it happens to everybody. Everybody catches it. But I hope you learn from your actions, and I hope you grow up. Because mom, you got a lot of growing up to do in this particular instance. But I think it was good for you. outside of that, Karen and Ashley end up getting into it. You know, it's just funny because I just don't feel bad for Ashley at all. And I like what Karen told her. If anybody at this group got the right to feel away and find some vindication, she was like, yeah, I slapped 5 with Robyn, and you know what? I might have been wrong. But if anybody at this table had the right to do it, it should be me. As much hell and torture that you put me and my husband through, laughing at our life circumstance, and now you don't like it. Clankety clank. You better help your husband with the soap. Child, that thing was funny, and Ashley tried to bring up them tax issues. Girl, that's last year. You can't hurt me with my old tea. Everybody know our finances was messed up last year, but talk about this year. Talk about this year. Nevertheless, girl, that's all I got. I ain't got no more. Y'all be sure to check out the Real Housewives of Potomac. I still gotta watch last night's episode. And don't forget, you can watch this show and a whole bunch of other ones at slingtv.com. And for the first 3 months, get it as low as $15 at slingtv.com/promo. Use promo code FUNKY. And I'll call you later, girl.